You've got to be fucking kidding me, man. Are you serious right now? Fucking bird shot on my car, man. That's so frustrating. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My car's just warming up right now. We're gonna go on this is a different camera angle as usual. As you guys know, it's either on my head or I'm not sitting in the car or anything. But we got a little bit of a different video going on today. Not really, I would say, actually. But today's video, we're gonna be talking about the 5 best mods, in my opinion, to get for your Mark 7 GTI. My car's not fully modified or anything, but it does have quite a bit of stuff done to it. But we'll kind of start from the top. Alright, so the first thing that I think everybody should get for their Mark 7 GTI, and honestly, pretty much any car, and honestly any car that has a turbo, you should 100% get no matter what, is a cold air intake. I have the CTS Turbo open box intake, and the best part about all these things that I'm talking about in this video is they're not very much expensive to actually get. Sometimes there's a few things on this list that labor kind of costs a lot sometimes, but there are ways around that. But one of those things is a cold air intake. Now, with a cold air intake, what's great about a cold air intake, especially on this car, is it's very easy to put in. This car at all, it is not hard at all to put a cold air intake in. It's literally at the top of the engine. And they're actually not even that expensive. I bought mine brand new from a place out towards Toronto called Brock's Tuning. It was, I believe, after tax, I think like $400. Now, to some people that may be a lot, but you can also pick up cold air intakes for any specific car really on Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find car parts, honestly. Like, there's a lot of people selling them, whether their car was crashed or they sold their car and they wanted to get top dollar, so they put everything back to stock. There are a lot of people that will sell their stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and you can pick it up for a really good price. But I think a cold air intake is honestly one of the best things you can do for your car, because it also makes the car sound a lot better and it breathes more. But for me, it was just sound. That's literally why I wanted it. And I said in one of my previous videos, if I didn't get my cold air intake for my GTI, I probably wouldn't have had the car right now, because it sounded so boring. But the cold air intake just really makes the car sound a lot better, and it's very noticeable outside as well. Like in neighborhoods and stuff, like people hear it a lot. That's the first thing that I'd recommend to anybody getting for your GTI, or like I said, really any car that has a turbo. Now, the next thing that I believe anybody should get for their GTI, and again, this is pretty much for any sports car, not any car that would sound shit, but is an exhaust or a downpipe. You can kind of go one of the two routes. Now, a lot of people, what they do that I've seen on GTIs is people will rock the stock exhaust system with a catless downpipe or catted, whichever one works in your city or your province or your state, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people will run a downpipe with the stock exhaust. I went the opposite route. I did an aftermarket exhaust with, right now I have the factory downpipe. I am going to look into getting a catless downpipe eventually. But I think an exhaust / downpipe is probably, again, one of the best things you can do for your car, because it opens up the doors of being able to tune it, for one, especially with the downpipe. You need the downpipe to go anything higher than a stage 1 tune, but the exhaust just allows you to get more sound out of it as well, because when I remember when I first test drove this car, there was a lot of pumped in audio, for one. I don't even know what it's called, but there's a specific name for it. I don't know what it's called, but there was a lot of pumped in audio, so it didn't really sound real. And when you didn't have that on, the exhaust wasn't all that loud at all, at least from inside the car. But on the exterior, you heard a lot. But for me, it just wasn't the greatest, so I got an exhaust. And this is what I was saying back to the whole thing with the Facebook Marketplace, was I actually bought my exhaust. It is a Cobb street system, so there has a small muffler and a small resonator on it, and I picked it up off of Facebook for $350. I did have to get it installed just because there was some welding and some stuff that needed to get done. That was $350 again for the install, so I spent about $700 all in on my exhaust to get it installed and the actual part. Now, if I bought my exhaust brand new, this exhaust was, I believe it was like a $1,600 exhaust brand new. That's just what the guy I bought it off told me, don't quote me, but it was an expensive exhaust, and I was still like saved $1,000 on top of that just from after the install and after purchasing the actual exhaust. I saved a lot of money doing it that way. But we're at the car wash. We're just gonna wash the car quickly. Alright. So I actually had to go back to fucking my house to get my drying towel, so I forgot it, so I grabbed my head mount, so I figured I'd give you guys that little aesthetic video recording of me doing my my exterior. Now we're just gonna dry and we'll get back to the video. So anyway, as I was saying about the exhaust, yeah. So I bought it for 350 bucks off of Facebook, and then I paid 300, I think it was like 350 or 370 to get it installed. So it wasn't that bad, but I spent less than it was to even buy a brand new one, right? And it works fine. It's all hooked up properly and everything. So that's probably another thing. And plus it added a little bit more sound to my car. Honestly, it didn't add as much as I wanted it to, but it's okay because I'm going to be making some changes to that just to make it a little bit louder. But that's one of the things I would also recommend getting for a GTI. Again, the part wasn't that expensive. It was only 350 bucks, and then the install. But you could even do it in your own house, like if you had the tools and stuff to do it. Like, but I don't know. For me, I'd rather take it somewhere, they get it done. It's nice and easy, and then if there's any fuck ups, like, it's not on me, right? But anyway, that's the second thing that I'd probably recommend getting for your GTI. The third thing that I would probably recommend getting for your GTI, this is pretty much for any single friggin' car. Now this always comes down to personal preference and what people like. I personally love it, but that is tint. I think tint is one of the best things you can get for your car, and that's for privacy. I don't like people looking in my car and seeing what I have and stuff, or even looking at me, right? I like having that privacy, especially people not knowing what who's driving the car, right? So I like that. Now I know a lot of people normally don't do windshield tint. I have windshield tint. I got 5 in the back windshield, then I have like, I think 25 all around. The car came like that, and then I have 30 on the windshield. So my car's all tinted. I am getting my sides done eventually at some point. It's just not at the top of my priority list, but I do want to get my sides done again to either 5 or 15. My stepdad's GTI, he has a GTI too. His is blue, but he has a GTI and he got 5% all around. It's really friggin' dark, but I think I'd probably do 15 in the 2 front windows. But like I was saying, tint, I think to me is A, like I said, privacy. B, it keeps the car from getting super duper hot. It keeps it cool in that sense. And then the third thing is just looks. Like, I love it when I take pictures of my car and stuff, especially because of the windshield tint. It helps a lot. But with the windshield tint, when I take pictures of the front of my car, it blocks, it looks black. So like you don't see anything on the interior, which I love that. Like when I'm taking pictures of the front of my car, like you don't see in the car at all, which is what I really like. So it honestly, it makes my photos look a lot better. Like if you guys go on my Instagram, you'll see them. Like they'll all look better with the windshield tint. So that's the third thing, is definitely tint. Tint is a number one for me. It's honestly the first thing I do to any car if it doesn't have tint, especially windshield tint. I love windshield tint. On my Infiniti, I had 5 all around and then 15 on my windshield. It was fucking dark, bro. It was so dark. I don't think I could ever go back to that, but it was really dark on that car. I miss that car a lot. The fourth thing for again, this is pretty much any car. A lot of these are pretty much any car, but these are like specific to my GTI. But the fourth thing is lowering. Now, obviously my GTI is not lower yet. I have owned lowered cars in the past, but I do have lowering springs for my car. I believe lowering is, again, one of the best things you should do for your car. Honestly, after like your basics, like your tint and stuff and things like that, I think tint is definitely one of the things you should definitely get for any car. Sorry, lowering, for one of two reasons. Obviously, one, it making the car look 10 times better. Literally any car looks better lowered, whether that's a Honda Civic, you know, some supercar, BMW, whatever it is. Every car looks better lowered when you get rid of that wheel gap. I had my Hyundai Genesis Coupe on coilovers on that car. That thing was slammed. That thing was super duper low. But I think lowering is one of the best things you could do for any car. It always looks better. And the other thing too is it helps with a bit with performance. It brings it honestly, like there's people that say too, with lowering your car, it improves your gas mileage because you're more lower to the ground, so it allows that when you're going through, when you're driving, it's easier for the air to go over your car than under it. So there's that positive. I mean, how much you want to look into it, you do that on your own time, but there's that. And the second thing is, handling is much better. Handling is far better when your car is lowered. You have a lower center of gravity, so whether you're on the track or you're taking turns or, you know, you're cutting through traffic, obviously you shouldn't be doing that, but it improves the handling of a ton. But for me, I like it just because of the looks. To me, that's it. I'm tired of having my monster truck fitment. Hopefully that gets fixed this week, but that's one of the things that I love, and I think lowering springs is perfect for every single car. Lowering springs and coilovers, really, it's up to personal preference. I went with springs personally because I do not want to drop a bag on coilovers. I think because this isn't like a car that I want to keep like forever. I mean, after it's painted, maybe that'll change because of sentimental value, but for me, I just went with springs. They were cheaper. Again, that's another part. I bought those off Facebook Marketplace for $200. 200 bucks. I bought lowering springs, something that'll completely change your car. Even if I have done nothing to my car, if I just lowered it with tint, literally would look like so much better than it would without lowering it. So, like even now, like people don't really look at my car too much, but I know for a fact once it's lowered, people are going to look at it. So, but again, that was 200 bucks, and then my install's free because my girlfriend's brothers are doing it. But again, it's another thing that obviously suspension's a little bit more tedious than whether it's like an intake or an exhaust, but you know, if you want to try doing it on your own, like you can try it. From what I've heard with these cars, it's not hard at all for lowering springs. Even coilovers are not even that hard to do, but you could try it. But again, the part itself is very cheap, Facebook Marketplace, and they're in great condition. But lowering springs is definitely a must-have for, I'm not going to say every car because not a lot of people want to do that, but for if you're into cars, lowering your car is definitely something you should definitely look into. At least I think so. But that leaves us to the fifth thing. Now, this is kind of touchy, I guess, because there's so many other options, but I'm going to turn right here. I got to go in front of this guy. That leaves us to the fifth thing, and that's aerodynamics and more cosmetic stuff. Now, some people have a gripe when it comes to aerodynamics and cosmetic things because some people go so far out there where it does not look good. I'm a really big believer in just doing OEM Plus. I like OEM Plus build. I think OEM Plus looks the best. You know, when you go too far out there, like almost like a track build or a drift build with all decals on it and stuff, to me it doesn't really look that good. I like classy cars, classic like OEM Plus stuff. So for me, when it comes to aerodynamics, at least for this car, which is what I have for this car, that's spoiler, lip, side skirts, and I'm still trying to get a diffuser. But as far as aerodynamics go, I think they changed the whole car so much. I think they make them look super duper aggressive. Like those types of stuff make cars look very, very aggressive, which I like that. There are certain cars
cars where you don't really have to do too much to, especially with German cars. I feel German cars, and even like Q50s, G37s, cars like that, really all you need is like a lip, spoiler, side skirts, and a diffuser. Like, that's really it. Certain cars you might need more, and there's also more cosmetics you could do. Like, I know for like the BMWs, you could do the GTS hood or things of that kind of stuff. But I think cosmetics and aerodynamics is definitely something you should look into when buying a GTI, because it really sets it apart from, especially even the GTIs and the Rs, the Golf Rs. They look a lot similar to like your regular GTI or your TSI, and I think putting those aerodynamics and those cosmetics on it really make it stand out from the rest, which is definitely a positive, which is what you want. You don't want to have a car and have it look like everybody else's, right? With those types of mods, they do make it stand out a lot more, which is what I'm trying to go for. But yeah, I think aerodynamics is one of them. Now, I have a little bit of a bonus for you guys, and that is, now this is very, this isn't for like, you should 100% do it. Would I recommend it? Yes, because it really changes up the interior of your car, and that is a steering wheel wrap. I know that aftermarket steering wheels are not cheap. They're like $700-800 bucks, sometimes $650, and you can definitely look on Facebook, like I said, for steering wheels, aftermarket steering wheels for any car. But I think getting a steering wheel wrap is probably one of the best, cheaper alternatives to do for something like that. Because I'll be honest, I didn't like the OEM steering wheel that this car came with. I think it was very boring. This guy's really up my ass. I think it's a very boring steering wheel. It's pretty basic. Like, the only good part is it has red stitching on it, but and it's flat bottom. But I went with an Alcantara steering wheel wrap. I literally bought it off Amazon for 90 bucks, and I had to stitch it on myself, but it was not hard. There are websites you can buy steering wheel wraps off of. If you look online, you'll find them, and they're not really that expensive. They're like, you can find them between, like, I found another one for my Audi at the time. It was 110 bucks. I just kept putting it off because I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend that on something like that, but I kept putting it off. But anyway, they're a huge alternative to the carbon fiber or even the full Alcantara steering wheels. And even so, people are saying, like, you can even do other stuff to the steering wheel itself. Like, if you go online, you can definitely find like this trim pieces for your steering wheels, to make them look literally like an aftermarket steering wheel that you bought as a whole, but you didn't. So for like a fraction of the price. So I would definitely recommend that if you do want to get something along the lines of an aftermarket steering wheel, but you obviously don't want to spend the hefty price tag. For me, I'm the type of person where if I'm spending like $400 or $500 on a car part, for me it's just not worth it. So, things like carbon fiber lips, things like that. That's why I always kind of look for cheaper alternatives. Like, for me, I love modifying my cars, whether that was my Audi, this car, my previous cars. I love modifying my cars, but I want to save my money at the end of the day. So for me, like, spending like a fortune on certain parts, just like $1,000 on carbon fiber front lips that are going to break, like, for me, that's just not what I want to do. That's why I have a gloss black one. It was cheap, so if it breaks, I'm not really too upset about it. But even if I found a carbon fiber one, I would find one, but it would definitely not be like a hefty price tag, like over like $300 bucks. Like, for me, on a carbon fiber lip, that's something that has a high chance of breaking. Like, $300 bucks is the most I'll spend. But those are the 5 plus a bonus things that I think everybody should do to their GTI. And like I said, these are pretty cheap stuff at the end of the day. I think the most expensive things you're probably looking at, if you're buying a brand new exhaust, probably an exhaust. Springs, lowering springs, you can find for pretty cheap. Like, I saw brand new lowering springs going for like $300-400 bucks for my car, for the GTI. So I definitely say the exhaust, but like I said, look aftermarket. You could even do like a resonator delete or a muffler delete. I wouldn't recommend going anything like a full straight pipe with bigger pipes, because sometimes it doesn't sound that good. Like, my car has a nice tone to it. It's not super loud, but you hear it quite a bit, at least in the car, like I wanted, and you can hear it a lot on the outside too. So but anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a pretty chill video. I hope you guys like this camera angle. I know my camera probably fell a couple of times, but I'm gonna look into getting like a suction cup mount so it doesn't fall. If you guys like this camera angle, you like this kind of, I guess, format for videos, leave your comments below. And know, like I always say, if there's any recommendations on videos you guys want to see, comment them down below. Like I said, the weather's trying to get a little bit warmer now, so I am going to try and post a lot more videos, for one. Two, I want to try and start going to more car meets. Honestly, from what I'm always on social media, for thinking about new videos, ideas, and shit like that, but I have not seen a lot of car meets going on, at least in my area. So, yeah, that's my one thing, is I'm trying to go to more car meets and stuff. I don't know if these kids are going, but I'm going anyway. What are you doing? But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to go to a lot more car meets and vlog those types of things, but like I said, I haven't heard any going on, but when they do start popping up, I will be making more videos on that. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.